Dr. Borman, are you in the room, please?
Yes, I think I'm here.
Okay. Dear Dr. Borman, our cordial greetings from Solamoym, thanking you for your participation. Please, you can start your conference, click on the share screen icon, open your microphone and camera, in addition to clicking on the icon below to enlarge the screen of the PowerPoint. Thank you. El doctor Hans Bollmann es médico especialista en medicina musculoesquelética, es el actual presidente de la Federación Internacional de Medicina Manual Musculoesquelética, de la FIM, y es director médico del Centro ForceMed en Eindhoven, en los Países Bajos, para la atención de pacientes con problemas posturales y musculoesqueléticos. Su conferencia en este segundo congreso de nuestra Solamoym son los retos de la medicina ortopédica manual en el siglo XXI. Dr. Borman, the microphone and the screen are yours.
Gracias. You all understand English, I think. Is it good when I do my lecture in English?
Okay, no problem.
Sí, okay, no
Go
problem.
ahead.
No problem.
Sí.
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much that you invited me to tell you something about the international community of manual medicine worldwide. And I also want to congratulate you because of your applyment for a membership by FIM. And officially the membership will be agreed upon in November in our General Assembly. But yes, I'm very happy you applied for membership. So I hope we will have lots of contacts in the upcoming years. Because you applied for membership, I thought it was a good idea to tell you a little bit about the background of FIM before I will tell a little bit about the challenges ahead. And I don't know if you know anything about FIM, but FIM is existing a long time. The start of FIM was exactly in 1958 in Baden in Switzerland. A group of colleagues that were interested in manual medicine, they gathered together and they decided to start up a federation for societies that were interested in manual medicine. And amongst them, there were a couple of well-known colleagues like Menje, like Stoddard from England, also like Syriac from England. So it was really an eloquent group. The second meeting they had in Germany, in Freudenstadt, and the third meeting they had in Nice, in France. And the official founding was in 1965 in London. A nice picture of all old colleagues in those days. And at the founding were present Belgium, Germany, France, Great Britain, Scandinavia, and Switzerland. So it was a quite small group, and all over from Europe, in fact. And the statutes, they were deposited in 1968 in Belgium, in Liège. And their goals in 1965, they look quite from this time. So promotion of scientific work was one of them. Developing standards was another topic. And in terms of quality, they wanted to promote cooperation between members and standardize education and training. That was also a goal between the different countries. And they also wanted to support the establishment of scientific societies and professional associations for manual medicine. And last but not least, they want to represent the interest of manual medicine on an international level towards authorities and organizations. Looking at the goals we set, for instance, in 2015 in Frankfurt, we had another meeting to reset, but in fact, they did not differ that much. So we wanted to develop a determined international recognized umbrella organization for societies, manual medicine societies. And we also wanted to address national societies and decision makers worldwide and collecting and disseminate knowledge and expertise. And also we wanted to integrate manual or musculoskeletal medicine into healthcare. And last but not least, we were willing to strive to be the international standard in the world of manual and musculoskeletal medicine. So those were the goals, and those goals we are still working at, and these are still the challenges we are facing nowadays. So in the years 1965 to 1995, in fact, we were only a group of European societies looking further in the world, and from 1995 up till 2018, North America became a member. Australasian groups like Hong Kong, New Zealand, Australia, Singapore, they become a group. South Korea is a group since a couple of years. And in fact, we looked it up, and Uruguay seems to be a member for 20 years. So it's interesting that the Latin American group now is applying for membership once again. So FIM exists, it is a federation of societies, but we have different boards or committees. We used to have a policy board, that's now the work of the president nowadays. We have scientific committees, boards, education boards. We had one up till 2006 and a latter one from 2007. And we had a new board from 2007 on, that's the Health Policy Board. And they do really important work to develop manual medicine, and they also produced a couple of documents, like the document you can find on our website, was written by the policy committee. In general, what's our aim? We also have some documents on scientific work, and there are documents for the education committee. But our main work, the most important work, that was finished in 2013. It's the guidelines on basic training and safety, and that's an international used standard nowadays. And it's developed by the Health Policy Board. And there are different languages in which these guidelines appeared, of course English, but also in French, German, and since a couple of years in Korean as well. And I would recommend to read this guidelines. They are very interesting, and for a new member. So 1965, FIM started. In 2004, the scientific board we had split up into the International Academy. They still exist, but nowadays we are getting closer to each other. And we founded in 2009 the ESOM, that's a European branch. And we did it for special purposes, mainly to get recognized in the European field. And since 1997, we know the UEMA, and UEMA is the group for the South European countries, so Spain, Italy, France. They are together in this group and still existing, but in fact getting closer and closer to FIM. So nowadays we have 25 societies. You can find them on our website. And I listed them up. So it's from Australia to Bulgaria, Canada. Here's the whole list. Hong Kong, Hungary, Israel. So you can see that's a big group of societies, international societies. And they have more or less individual members, but the societies are a member in FIM. Here's our executive board. My co-chair is involved a long time. He is American. So we have a colleague, Aaron Feinstein from Israel, Stefan Finselberg, a German colleague, is a science officer. Negev Bar, an Israeli colleague, is doing the communications. Bernard Terrier, former president as well, is now leading the health policy board. And we have Ilya Todorov from Bulgaria, and he is the director of the education board. Besides that, we have a couple of observers or advisors. They are joining us in the meetings we have, and they advise us. And that's Karen Goss from Denmark, Javier Martinez, you all know, he's from Spain, as well as Victoria Sotos from Spain as well. So this is one big team we are working at, and we can't do it by ourselves. So it's really teamwork we are delivering and trying to lift manual medicine worldwide. So for membership, you applied for, and in fact, there should be only physicians in your society, or at least only physicians can be a member. And then you will be an ordinary member of FIM. And as I already said, the General Assembly will decide upon the ordinary membership, and it's just a simple majority you need. But I do not foresee any problems in your application in November. And one thing that's probably of interest if you become a member is always the question, what will it cost? So we only ask 150 euros fee for every society, and depending the members they have, and we are counting the members. So the first 100 members, you have to pay 4 euros per member. So 25 members means 100 euro extra fee. And we limited it up to 2,400 euros for the big societies like Germany, like United States. They have a lot of members, but we limited that for them. Okay, so we have every year we have a General Assembly. It started in 1962 in France. That was the first official General Assembly. Up to 2019, we had yearly General Assemblies, and all delegates from societies are gathering together, and we make decisions for the upcoming years. 2020 and 21, because of the COVID pandemic, we did not have General Assemblies on site, only online. And last year, 2022, we were in Hanover in Germany. And next year is the question, or this year, in fact, where we will be. We have some ideas. And another tradition we had was a triennial congress, international congress. And from the triennials, we left in 2016, and we decided to have every year a conference together with the hosting society and directly after the General Assembly. So last year was 2022 in Hanover, and probably this year it will be in Israel, in Tel Aviv, together with the Society of Israel. There are still some problems, as you know, in Israel, so we're not quite sure if Israel will go on, but we have good hopes. But we will keep you informed. So, challenges in the manual medicine. Are there challenges? Yes, there are, of course. And a couple of things we are now facing or aiming is the future role of FIM, which direction we should go. We are looking at the conferences, the webinars. Guidelines must be revised because they are a little bit outdated. We have projects on education going on, and there are lots of more challenges. So one of the goals we are facing nowadays is to make FIM future-proof, because there are circumstances changing the last years, and we have to prepare FIM for the future. And the way there is looked upon medicine in general, but in manual medicine as well, is changing, and for the musculoskeletal medicine, there is a lot to do. One other thing is we want to make FIM visible. We know, from what we heard from societies, that they hardly know about FIM. Okay, is FIM existing? Yes, FIM is existing. So FIM must be more visible, and people must get to know FIM. Another thing is the expanding outside the known regions. As I showed you, the most countries are from Europe, but we have quite a few countries outside Europe, but we want to expand furthermore. So Latin America is one of our goals, but yeah, luckily you applied for membership. We also know that some countries in Africa also are interested in manual medicine and possibly potential new members. So attracting the new societies, also in the existing countries. In the first years, you only could become a member per country, but now it is possible that more societies per country are applying for membership. So probably we could interest more societies from existing countries to become a member. And one other thing is that we are looking at collaboration with other players in the musculoskeletal or manual medicine fields, and not only strict manual medicine, but also related colleagues like radiologists, for instance. They have musculoskeletal radiologists, so that's interesting to get more involved with each other. And one other thing is that we are really looking into the fact that societies must recognize themselves in what FIM offers. Sometimes we are not sure if it is what a society wants that we are doing, and it must be more interactive. So that's the challenges we're looking ahead. So there are some situations in the world we're facing, and that brought us to think about, okay, which way we should go. For instance, there are different situations in different countries, and different ways organizations are dealing with musculoskeletal medicine, for instance. So there is not just one system, and we must look to different systems and face them and try to attract them within FIM. Also, the status in the countries and recognitions by the governments is such a topic. In some countries, manual medicine is absolute accepted, but in other countries it's seen as alternative medicine, and you hardly can't perform manual medicine. So we have to deal with that as well. Another thing is that there are differences in education levels. The European system is founded upon the Bologna criteria, the certification, the diplomas, etc., and the need for 300 hours postgraduate education. And in not every country this is needed. So we have to ask ourselves, okay, is this what we are asking from societies, or are there other systems that we could accept as well? So in fact, it's not one size fits all, but we have to customize our statutes. We have to deal with individual and situations and fine tuning for societies to attract them. And also, for instance, certification and diplomas. In fact, FIM is in some countries not an official institute, so we can't play a legal role and giving certifications, accreditations, etc. There are other institutes, so we must not be overconfident and overestimated about our influence and about our rule. And some other challenges we are facing is, for instance, languages in courses. Languages and courses, yes, courses are mainly in the mother tongue, so to speak. So yes, in Spain it will be in the Spanish language, in England in English, in French in France, etc., etc. So that makes it difficult to exchange, and we like very much people exchanging and entering into other societies and participating in other courses. So we are aiming for English is the leading languages, but yeah, not everybody is speaking English. But that's something we realize. And we had a international European conference in Leipzig, in Germany last week, and they had translators, for instance. So that's something you could think about it. Traveling problems, environmental problems is also something we have to think about. Since the COVID pandemic, we learned to have conferences online. Before that, we hardly had conferences online, and we learned that it is a quite powerful possibility to do online webinars, like this one, for instance. And political situations also are playing a role, like the war in Ukraine is going on, the situation in England is going, or in Israel is going on. So we also must look and be aware of those situations. Can FIM go the way we always did, traveling to countries, going into countries, or must we do more online? So our future role is something we have to look at as well. We want to play a big role, international recognized federation. We want to attract new societies, policymakers we are interested in, and we very much like to gather and disseminating knowledge and expertise. And that's something, in fact, what we think the role of FIM should be internationally. And in 2015, we talked about our vision, and our vision is that FIM is really the international federation for all the societies that are dealing with manual and musculoskeletal medicine. And we thought about our mission. Okay, we have the vision, now it's the mission, and we are existing because we are the umbrella organization, and we want to offer a platform for networking, exchanging information between all the organizations, all the societies that are a member of FIM. And we also thought about the representing role of FIM. So if someone or if there would be an institute, then it should be FIM that is representing the manual medicine worldwide. And also promoting expertise and collegiality. That's something we also have set as a goal. And promoting expertise by, for instance, education, offering courses, etc. And the dissemination of knowledge and experience is also, we are thinking about making a kind of platform for exchanging, so you can put in information and another society can get out the information as they needed it. So that's what we thought that would be the future role. And of course, we have to implement manual and musculoskeletal medicine into the health systems and offering that one. So what we did is we established a cycles of FIM conferences and webinars the last years, in fact, since the COVID pandemic. And we have now a yearly webinar in the spring. We are having a yearly webinar in the autumn. Conferences are both live and online. So in the autumn it will be live, but we are thinking also to offer the conferences to be online at that moment. It's technically possible, so why not? And what we also like is more participation and involvement from other societies. Now it's the FIM board that's thinking about all the conferences, is doing all the work, but we would like to have more involvement from other societies to participate, so that we could think about the policy as a board and the work we do together with other societies. And yes, of course, the platform to offering exchange of knowledge I already mentioned. The guidelines I already mentioned before. The guidelines must be revised. They are from 2013, but new societies entered FIM, and that means that we need to adapt the guidelines to the wishes of the new societies as well. New systems are entering, so we must update it. And one thing that's very important is that we should look at the evidence. Evidence is very important, and if you want to enter health systems and you want to be the standard and the leading institute for manual medicine, it must be all evidence-based. So that's a field we are working at as well. So the education project, I already mentioned a little bit about it. We had a high standard, high goals. So we, in fact, wanted every society that they have a 300 hours curriculum. We wanted to promote courses, endorsing courses. We want to accredit courses, also making standards for treatment procedures, education, certification, etc., and even giving diplomas. And I think that is a goal that's okay, but it was set too high. And therefore, we said, okay, not everywhere the 300 hours is needed. Some societies or some countries, it is not an obligation. So why hold on the 300 hours? So we discussed the 300 hours. Different situations in different countries ask for other situations, other criteria. So there is no one system. That's what we realized the last years. And also that FIM is not in the position to establish rules, certification, and diplomas in all countries. Okay, if you need it, we can provide it. That's no problem. But it's not accepted in every country. Some countries say, okay, FIM, it's nice. FIM exists, but okay, it's not of our business. So guidelines must be revised. That's one step. And then we will look at the education project we started once again and try to change it as well, so it fits for other countries entering FIM. So yes, there are a lot of challenges, as I showed you. And the question is how we are facing them and how we are dealing. And one of the most important things is that I personally think that FIM must facilitate and not dictate. And as FIM started, it was almost like they dictate what other societies should do or what would be the standards. And I think we should do it together and only facilitate, offering platforms. That's, I think, the most important task FIM will have. And members must recognize themselves in FIM, being a member. And another thing is that I'm convinced that knowledge is absolutely worth gold and is power. So we should collect knowledge, and we must be the central pivot in collecting and disseminating knowledge on the field of manual medicine. And in fact, FIM should be a kind of spider in the web, and getting information from all societies, bring it together and spread it out once again. And also the network is very important, networking. I saw it in Leipzig and I saw it in other meetings, networking, but also using social media is one thing we have to think about it in the future as well. Because we're not sure if we can meet live on that many occasions anymore, as I told before. So central point, I think it's knowledge and how to assemble knowledge and how to spread it. I think communication is one big topic. We have to think about how to communicate with each other. It's by Zoom meetings, it's by WhatsApp, etc., etc., etc. And for the younger generation, it's quite okay. They know how it works. I think the older generation, including myself, have some difficulties contacting each other by WhatsApp and by social media, it's something we have, we have to face it, and we have to look how we are dealing with it. Okay, another thing in gathering knowledge is coming closer together to ESOM, the European Society, and the IMMM. We have some interesting talks nowadays, and we are closer and closer together. And probably they will be really under the umbrella in the future. And we also are thinking about more regions, like the Australasian region, Far East region, Latin America region, and probably regions are closer together and can communicate better, and meetings, and once in a while we have a central meeting under the umbrella of FIM. So interaction, involvement in what FIM is doing is very important. And the involvement is possible by entering boards, committees, but also it must be open for individual members, I think, because the delegates are quite okay, but what we experience is that information from FIM to societies is okay by the delegates, but from societies to members, it stops. And we want to promote more information also to individual members. And there are lots of ideas we have. How to make FIM attractive, how to make FIM visible, and I mentioned a lot of them, but still lots of ideas coming up, and we must look at every idea if we could really get onto these ideas and use them. And one thing I mentioned before is that I would really like to see courses from societies being in English, so colleagues could entering. For instance, in our country, courses are in Dutch, and no one speaks Dutch. And I think there are a lot of interesting courses. So if we could provide those courses in English, it would be attractive for colleagues to join those courses. As I told already, I think we have to look at individual members as well. And it's okay, we have FIM, we have boards, we have committees, but we must attract individuals and at least offer a platform for individuals. They must get onto the information as well. I think that's important for FIM to survive in the future. So modern communication, I already mentioned. Okay, dealing with the difference in different organizations is a challenge, and I think we have to deal with it, and we have to look for solutions, and it's the one size fits all system we must leave, and more looking at the individual situation. And also attracting organizations, new organizations like Latin America is okay, but we know there are a couple of societies, they diminished, they are probably existing, but not quite alive and kicking. And we have to go on to them as well and try to attract them and getting them back from where they are and getting into FIM once more. And one step we actually did is allow more organizations per country, for instance. So, in fact, all these ideas, all these challenges in the end must lead to what I would like to see is one big FIM community. So exchanging information, gathering information, networking, colleagues that could meet in online situations, joining each other conferences, etc., etc. It would be nice if we would end up in one big FIM community. And we have the boards, we have the communities, we have the delegates, we have the societies. So from boards, it goes into the communities and back once again, then it has to go to the delegates, then it has to go to the societies. But what we really want is that the information is going to the individual members, even to patients, even to governments. And that will be a big challenge. And in the end, we will have one big community, I hope, and that manual medicine will be really recognized in the world, really will be seen, and will be a specialty for manual medicine problems and treatment, diagnostic situations, etc. So I want to thank you for your attention, and I hope I gave you some information about FIM, about the background of FIM, and about the challenges we have to face internationally. And I hope one day or soon you will join FIM as well to work on this project on manual medicine together with the other societies as they are now. So I would say gracias por su atención. I hope I pronounced it well, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Dr. Borman, for your excellent conference and time. Under the table in our Spanish, go to the eminently academic aspect. We wish you continued success at FIMM and happy evening.
I did not quite understand what you mean.
I mean, Dr. Borman, thanks a lot for your excellent conference.
Okay, well, welcome, yeah.
And your conference was in academic English eminently.
Okay.
And we understand every time.
Okay, good.
And we wish you continued your success at like a president in the FIMM.
FIMM, yes, FIM, yes. Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, and yeah, okay. I thought the conference is going on, so I wish you a lot of success with the conference.
Yes.
And okay, and I hope to see you in the autumn for applying the membership. I think Daniel Strand will come.
Yes,
to
Dr.
Europe.
Strand is in the room.
Yes, and I think we will see each other in November in the General Assembly, won't we?
Okay.
Good.
Daniel, el doctor Dolman te dice que te verá en noviembre en la reunión de la FIM.
Espero que así sea. Y quiero dirigirme a todos los colegas que están aquí presentes, especialmente en español, para explicarles que el doctor Hen Bullman, más allá de ser una autoridad mundial y un referente en medicina manual, es un amigo de Latinoamérica, nos ha dado todo su apoyo siempre, y entonces, en nombre de todos, queremos agradecerle por ese apoyo, agradecer por estar siempre con nosotros. Lo digo en español para que todos podamos entenderlo y por favor transmíteselo, Edgar.
Dr. Bollman, Dr. Daniel Strand said that welcome to Latin America at Solamoym, and he see you in November.
Yes.
And thanks a lot for your conference.
Okay. Okay, I like to do it, and I hope to see you all soon.
Okay.
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 See you soon.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
evening.
So, good evening.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the conference. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.